So Mao just came up from under the water for hair. Anyway, Kolos Das has just settled by the echo of shattered dream and arms. But Mao walked in confidence in Lion only to leave with 15 votes. Dr. Olanya Gilbert, MP for Kilak South, unpacks the autopsy. Why did the giant?
We are supposed to traverse and monitor the accountability of all the districts.
Fall, and what rises from his ruins? Let's listen to the wise man.
What are your 2 cents on how everything went down at Kololo today?
Canary, looking at how the election of the speaker took place, I look at it that the party positions still means a lot. You recall my brother Honorable Norbert Mao, he was very confident. I'm telling you, Ugandans were very sure that Mao was going to be the speaker. But unfortunately, things turn otherwise. This is an indication that party position still counts a lot. And many people were saying that at least if Mao was to talk well with NRM, he would be the speaker. But it looks as if Mao did not negotiate very well with the NRM as a party, because when the NRM endorsed Jacob Oboth and Thomas Taiva as a deputy, Mao was still insisting that by tomorrow he's going to be the next Speaker of Parliament. So, and people thought that maybe there's some hidden agenda between Mao and President Yoweri Museveni. You know what was encouraging us? We recall during the election of the late Jacob Olanya with the Right Honorable Kadaga. The Right Honorable Kadaga was very popular until the night that the election is tomorrow. That is when President Yoweri Museveni had to call almost 80% of members of parliament himself. They did the mobilization. And in the following morning, when members of parliament arrived at the voting venue, the story changed. All of them voted for the Right Honorable Jacob Olanya. And people thought the same was going to apply to Mao, because Mao was very confident. But in the morning, all members of parliament or NRM were telling us that they cannot run away from the position of the caucus. So they are going to vote as directed by the caucus. And then there, we thought Mao was not going to be nominated. Then from nowhere, we saw Honorable Okot Peter rising up and nominating Mao, and being supported by Honorable Okello Patrick Omuri. Then the results came. Mao got very few votes. He got only 15 votes. And then the NUP candidates, Paul Miro, got 60 votes. Then the NRM candidates got 441 votes. So this one really, it teaches us that party politics still plays a great deal in this country.
Right.
If you want to succeed, it's better you negotiate with the party. It's better you go.
The doctor from Kilak South does not gloat. He teaches with the calm of a village elder who has seen storms swallow proud men. Dr. Olanya lays bare the corpse of Norbert Mao's ambition. First, he says the party is not a suggestion, it is a good. Mao walked into the arena believing that charm, eloquence, and handshakes with the president would move mountains. But Dr. Olanya shakes his head. The mountain does not move for visitors, it moves for blood. What did Mao fail to do? He did not kneel for the Central Executive Committee, the NRM's sacred drum, the room where decisions are forged in fire. You do not write letters from outside that door. You enter, you sit, you converse the high table. Mao never did, and the sect does not forget. Worse still, the Secretary General offered Mao a path. Abandon the Democratic Party, come inside our house fully, then we talk. But Mao refused. He wanted to cooperate without converting. He wanted the boardroom key while still knocking from the garden. And here is Dr. Olanya's sharpest blade. Parliament is not a poetry club, it is an arm of government. Would you hand your own limb to a stranger? That, he says, is why the NRM could never let an opposition man sit in the speaker's chair. Not because Mao is unworthy, because power guides its own. 15 votes, that is the verdict of history. Confidence without a caucus is just a beautiful corpse.
Mao could have convinced the NRM Central Executive Committee. You know, the Central Executive Committee is the highest decision-making body in the NRM. He could have talked to the president. The president could have allowed him to attend the SEC, and then he convinces the SEC, and then the SEC will now convince the caucus. What is being confirmed by the NRM Central Executive Committee, it will never be denied by the NRM caucus. So he did a mistake that he did not talk to the Central Executive Committee well, I guessed. That is why he did not. Even
if he had, talking to them and them accepting is another story, because you remember with the words of Anita Monk saying that you cannot invite a visitor to the bedroom, meaning this is an opposition figure from the Democratic Party as much as there is an alliance, but you cannot have someone from DP lead parliament. I doubt SEC would have accepted.
You know, in the multi-party politics of this nature, parliament is one of the arms of the government. And then, personally, I would see that it's very risky to hand over one of the arms of the government to someone who does not belong to your political party. You recall the Secretary General, I remember he advised Mao, Richard Todwong, that it would be good for you to abandon the DP, come and join NRM fully. Then we see how to help you. I remember he advised Mao, and then Mao insisted that for him he will remain in DP as he cooperates with the NRM. So I guessed that they look at that is very risky to hand over the whole arm of government to someone who is not fully inside your house.
But Dr. Olanya does not linger on the grave. He turns his face toward the horizon. What comes next? He speaks of the new speaker, Jacob Bothobot, and his maiden vow to strangle corruption with both hands. The doctor's voice rises high because he has tested the rod. He remembers the 11th Parliament as a kingdom of fear. A presiding officer, Anita Monk, ruled like a demigod. Speak against her, you are silenced. Denied travel, fired from committees by a single phone call. Dr. Olanya points a haunting picture. Community funds for all 135 districts plus cities were thrown into one dark pool. Chairpersons would beg for their own money. The answer, gone, redirected to the presiding officer's shadow treasury. No field visits, no oversight, just a legislator paralyzed by terror. Now he prays the new speaker must start with a machete, not a feather. Clean the recruitment rod, return power to committees, let MPs breathe without looking over their shoulders. And the doctor smiles because 98% of MPs are celebrating amongst departure, not mourning, celebrating. That, he says, is the truest verdict of all. When the people dance at your exit, you do not lead, you tyrannize. The future then is a question mark written in blood. Will Olanya be a healer or another ghost? Dr. Olanya whispers, we shall see, but for the first time in 5 years, Parliament dares to hope. Norbert Mao, he was talking to so many members of Parliament. He told members of Parliament, he was telling us in so many forums that is negotiating with His Excellency the President and the party as NRM. In fact, he had serious interest about becoming the Speaker of the 12th Parliament. All of that, he was disappointed. Norbert Mao shared a meme caption video of the day, Preacher General, focus, focus, focus. Let's see it when we play it.
One thing I never allow in my mind is hopelessness. I never determine the direction to take because of the circumstances around me. Never. I keep focused on the ultimate objective, the end state. which end state do I want to influence things towards, and until I achieve that end state, I don't allow my mind to divert left or right.
So that was General Mugisha Muntu, a former NRM Army commander and Bush War hero. He retired from the military, joined the FDC, and later formed the Alliance for National Transformation HAND, becoming one of the most visible moderators in opposition leaders. And so Norbert fell not by betrayal, but by the cold arithmetic of party loyalty. And Parliament's tomorrow hangs on one man's promise to wield a machete against corruption. Dr. Olanya has spoken, not a mourner, but as a witness. The floor is yours. Uganda, watch closely.